up. I I have a lot of thoughts that I've been really thinking about. I'm gonna wait until one or two people show up. I might be a little early today, you know, and I want to see all the messages today, and I really want to interact with chat a little bit more. I don't know if maybe like I'm maybe not as focused on the chat as much, and maybe I should be, or what people are expecting of me, you know. But you know, I just have a lot of thoughts about this community, um, I love to talk about God, and I love to talk about salvation, and I love to talk about flat earth, and I love to talk about the things going on in the news and in the world, right? In politics, especially if they line up with like end times prophecy, right? But you know what's really like an effort for me, right, is to deal with all the different personalities, right, in the truth community, right? And I know a lot of us, like, we kind of feel like we're not in a community, we're just on our own searching for truth, and we take what's good and leave the rest, that kind of thing, right? But in reality, I mean, we do like hang out with each other. There are people that oh, hey, how you doing, JJ? There are people that come and watch my show that I really really like, and I'll go and watch their material and say hello and all that. But there's also like another level of friend, right? That's out there that, say someone you've known over the years, you're a truther, they're a truther, say you've known them 3 or 4 years, right? Sometimes I think that maybe they don't realize that, um, you know, I've done a lot of research too, right? Like that person's done a lot of research. I've done a lot of research, right? Everyone's done a lot of research. I'm not going to walk up to somebody that's a truther and act like I'm the first person to clue them into something, And I rarely want to say to people, hey man, I was at where you are, man. Wait till you get to where I am. That's really not a good spirit, That's really speaking from like an area of smugness, And but I do know like some friends of mine, right? That I don't, I would consider them friends, right? Because I know them, I care about them. They've been there for me when I've been in need. I would definitely be there for them if they're in need, like that kind of thing, right? And so I would say that these people are my friends, right? I mean, especially the people that come here are my friends for sure, like that I see every day. But there's friends I've known over the years, right, that really try to get me to really discount or discredit the Bible, right? And, um, rarely do they offer me a better source, right, than the Bible, It's always some kind of push to look at things in a different way where where I won't accept the sacrifice of Jesus and receive salvation, right? Well, I've already done that, right? Like I already believe, right? And so once you believe, right, and you start reading the Bible, it makes different sense to you, right? So so when I read the Bible now, right, trust me, hey, look, I wasn't a God person my whole life, right? It took me till I was in my mid 20s to really kind of take it serious, right? And so I'll say that there are a lot of people that uh, will try to push me off of it, And the reason that I believe in Jesus, right, is of course because I love him, right? I love God, right? And But more so than that, the reason I'm a believer, right, that the Bible is true 100% is because it is true. That I believe in things that are true. You know what I mean? And so, like if you had to ask me, you know, um, do I know the Earth is flat? Yes, I do. I know that the Earth is flat in geometric orientation, and I know that it's not moving. That I know, right? And that is something that you can know and prove for yourself, right? Um, do I know that France is a place, right? Uh, I don't know it. I believe it to a high degree because people have been there. They told me they've been there. Um, People talk about it a lot. It's something I can view online, pictures, right? Well, um, I believe that France is there, right? But I know the earth is flat and not moving, right? That I know. Now, do I know that um, Jesus, um, do I know that Jesus died for my sins, right? I would say yes, right? But I would say I believe it to a very high degree because that's not something I can know, right? There's no pictures or video of that, right? But I believe it, right? Because I feel God inside me. I talk to God every day, right? It's not something that I question, right? I believe it. And then so when I get like a friend you know, or somebody that I've been, kind of like that I care about, that I've been working with for years, right? Trying to get them to see it, right? Um, Only because I care about them and their salvation, right? But I don't know what their motivation is to want me not to believe it, right? And you will run into that in the truth community because there'll always be um, there's a lot of people that are motivated to discredit the Bible, and it's the most scrutinized book in the world. And when I went down that rabbit hole to try to find out who God was, right? Um, and, it was very tough, man, because there's a lot of things, right, about Jesus, right, about different, alternatives to the Bible, right, that are compelling. That people have put a lot of time and effort into putting these things together, and almost had me fooled, a few times, and I wouldn't consider myself a dumb person. And I've seen these things fool people that are very smart. And I think part of it is that some people, um, they want it to be not true, right? They have some kind of invested interest in it not being true. And so, I mean, you see that people will believe in a spinning ball, and people will believe that they come from a monkey somehow, right? Um, it's People will believe some pretty silly things, right? Um, because it's an alternative to believing that, hey, um, there is a God that's in charge, and we we're not God. We didn't make this place. We don't get to make the rules, right? And so, uh, in my talks with Jesus, right, in my prayers and all that, right, it's like um, I just get so much insight, right? Like, in First Corinthians 1:8, and I'm kind of paraphrasing, right? Or is it 1:18? It says basically, um, when you preach the cross, right, it will be foolishness to people that are perishing. It'll be foolishness to them. They won't get it, right? But to those that are saved, right, we see that preaching of the cross as the power of God. As God came down, right, and gave everything that he could give us, his life, right? You know, uh, he came down and put and took the wrath upon himself, right? I mean, he gave his only begotten son, right? You know, he gave everything he could give, right? Now, obviously God can't end himself, right? I mean, but he gave everything that he could give, you know? And I don't see that as like some kind of gross, uh, you know, blood sacrifice or something like that, that other people victimized Jesus or something. I don't see it that way. I see it as Jesus decided to do this for us, right? That this was his way of showing us uh, how much he wants to be with us, right? And it's beautiful, you know. It's beautiful, and you know, I want other people to see it in that way, you know. And there are people, right? And I know, right? Like right when I look at them, right? And I don't know how I know this or why I know this, right? But there are people I look at them, right? And you know, after some time, you know, talking to them or looking at them, right? Even in pictures, right? Um, I can tell that they're not like me, and I don't know what that means, right? I don't know. I think that they're human beings like me, right? But there's some kind of powerful, beautiful energy in them that's too big to be good, right? Um, Everyone that I met that is a, you know, beautiful, saved, you know, follower of Jesus, a servant of God, right, is a very humble um, spirit that's still beautiful. I mean, very beautiful, very powerful, right? But just a gentler feel to it, right? And I'm not saying that these other people are not good. That some of them are great and beautiful and uh, amazing, right? They could be stars, right? They could be, um, um, you know, maybe, you know, if the world was fair, right? They could probably be an actor or a comedian or an artist, right? They would be such a powerful, wonderful instrument of God if they could accept the gospel, you know? And I know about two or three people that are like this, right? That are like, I look at them, I know that they're different than me. I wonder if they were born into something or if maybe when they were young they were playing with things that they didn't really understand, or maybe they were just very brave. Um, and they have this powerful energy inside them that I don't think that they'll lose if they got saved. Now, I know that I'm sounding like I'm not making sense, right? And I don't know if you guys have run into these people too. They're just like us, right? They have little tiny YouTube channels, whatever, right? And you'll see them, right? Maybe they dabble in some stuff, right, that they probably shouldn't, right? But they're not bad people. They're just like super nice and pleasant to look at and pretty, right? And but they just have this energy about them and this denial of God that doesn't seem like it's possible to convince them, right, to see the truth, right? And I don't know, like, have you guys run into anybody like this, right? Where you're like, wow, man, I just really care about them and I want them to know about God, and but they just and they would be perfect tools for God, right? But like, you just can't get them to see it, and you wonder, like, are there some people that really need to um, empirically prove if God is real or not? Like have empirical evidence, right, that God rose from the dead and ascended to heaven. I mean, of course, he did all this in front of many, many witnesses, right? And like it's like pretty pretty well documented, right? Uh, for something that is, you know, of that nature, right? And you know, so I mean, there's as much proof as I think there can be, right? And yeah, I can't empirically prove that to somebody, but I could definitely show people that are united, uh, that serve the devil. I mean, if you go to Josh Sparrow's channel, right? Um, and he has a wonderful channel. He's a wonderful kid, man. He's a like a good person, right? You can just tell that from his personality. He's got like this very gentle, God-fearing personality, right? And if you just go and look at all the thumbnails, right, of this guy's videos, which they're all like 3 minutes long. I watch a couple a day, right? Because he's just a pleasant person to listen to, right? And and you just see all this one eye symbolism, right? People covering one eye with something or blocking one eye, right? I've even seen people that are just like us that do that, the one eye symbolism, covering one eye, or um, that's symbolism. I mean, whether it's on accident or not, right? Like that's something that I wouldn't do, right? Like because I know, right, that like Satanists will cover one eye or do certain hand signals, right? Like I'm not saying that like you can never have your hands in a certain position or whatever. Like sometimes people just do that, right? But um, if I could help it, I wouldn't have that um, on my channel, right? Because um, if it's a choice between having it or not having it, right, I would choose not to have it. I don't want anyone to ever think that I'm in allegiance with anybody other than Jesus Christ, right? Jesus is everything to me, you know? And uh, I mean, I love Jesus above everything. That's real, right? When I used to read scriptures, like you would have to, in order to be worthy of the kingdom of heaven, you have to love Jesus more than your own mother, right? And of course, I'm paraphrasing, but I didn't understand how that was going to be possible, or to love God more than my kids and all that, right? But now that I know that God is real, right? Uh, and I can pretty much say that I've seen as much proof as I'm probably going to get, and as much confirmation as I'm going to get. Of course, I love God above everything else, because if you read the Bible for yourself, right, He's like the ultimate, most loving character, right? Now, I get it. There's people that read the Old Testament and they read things in a certain way, right? And I think that once you're saved, right, and once you have the faith in God, right, the Bible reads to you in a different way. It speaks to you in a different way than reading it without any faith, right? Reading it as a scholar with no faith in Jesus, right, is gonna have like a different it's going to speak to you in a different way. And I'll say this, right? I'll say this. Um, I can't think of another example, right? But say like the Alcoholics Anonymous book, right? You read the Alcoholics Anonymous book as an alcoholic, and it speaks to you, right? You're like, yeah, exactly. I do that. I do that. I do that. Whatever, right? But if you give that book to someone that's not an alcoholic, right? They'll read that book and it won't speak to them that same way. They won't they won't get that message, right? And so even though people can read the Bible and come up with their own alternative viewpoints, right? If you have faith in Jesus, right? And you know that he's there, right? And you get confirmation and you feel connected to him and you talk to him, right? and and you read the Bible, it speaks to you in a whole different way. And we learned this even from flat Earth, right? Once we discovered the Earth was flat, we start reading that Bible in a different way, right? Even something like that, even though I would say a believer before flat Earth, it made my faith even stronger, because now I could read the Bible as if it were literal. Like Genesis is a history book now to me, right? Whereas before I had to leave it open to the fact that it might be symbolism, some kind of symbolism, right? But um, now that I know, um, that I don't come from a monkey. I mean, see, we assumed that when we were, I mean, maybe not everybody, but I'd say most of us assumed that when we were learning stuff in school, that they were telling us the truth, that they really found dinosaur bones and when you go to a museum, those are real bones, or that you believe them that we evolved from other animals, like fish grew feet and started to walk around on land and all that. Like I, as a kid, looking at that, I believed what they were saying to me, and I didn't realize just how evil this world was, right? And I was even more naive to the fact that, yes, private, beautiful, awesome. Um, I was even more uh, surprised when I was sure after a year of studying, right? I mean, I've studied it now, obviously, like over 3 years, right? Every detail of it. But after a year of studying, once I was for sure that the Earth was flat, right? I was sure. I've seen people get it in one day, but it took me a long time to prove it to myself, right? And so, hey, Cindy, yay! Oh, I didn't mean to ruin your nap. Oh, I feel bad. Well, I'm glad you're here. You brighten my day. But once I knew that the Earth was flat, right? Then I was like, wow. I mean, the news stations, like uh, professors at some level, right? Like nobody cares to report it. It's a phenomenal thing. Like I would think everyone would be excited to hear it, right? But you start to realize that this world isn't as open and free as we think. I mean, the news doesn't have like reporters that go out and like find a story to put on the news today. Um, all the channels have all the same things. They get all the same information to read out to us. And I used to think it was like Murphy Brown, like like there's reporters that go out and they try to find a story to report, and they bring it to their local station, and that's what they report. But that's not how it works. Uh, you can't get anything uh, to a person with a big platform or following, right? With any kind of dissenting opinion, in reality, like I mean, if it goes against the mainstream, right? No one's gonna have an opinion against the mainstream, and it's crazy, right? It is just so crazy, right? And so I would just say that like um, at many levels of discovery, right? I would say that. It opened more and more doors for me with the Bible, and it gave me more and more confirmation, and it made me feel better and better and better. Even when I see things that are like, lies or deceptions or things that are coming that are possibly even dangerous to us, right? Uh, I would say I wouldn't say that I feel joy about it, but I accept it as like, wow, this is more confirmation that God was right about everything, right? That it is going to be exactly the way He says in Revelation, right? And it's like, yeah, I'm not happy for anybody to go through suffering or to be hurt, but I'm always happy to see that God's plan is happening exactly the way He told us, right? And that there is a book for us that He knows will last until the end, right? That's right. That's right. And so, right. And so, right. And so, um, I just look at those things, right? I know it sounds like maybe I'm crying, right? Or that I'm complaining about how things are, right? Or that I can't get a friend to accept Jesus, or that maybe I see something in the news that's harmful or not true, or maybe I'm thinking about like lies that I was told as a kid, right? Maybe that sounds like complaining, right? But it's not to me, right? Discovering these things was obviously a blessing because it gave me the confirmation I needed to have the faith I have now that's powerful. I mean, my faith is powerful. I mean, I could find joy almost in any situation. My problem is that, I know that I don't fit here. And I know that if I were to speak 100% truth, I would be rejected, right? So yeah, going outside requires me to pretend that there are things that are real that aren't real. Yeah, sure, that could be a hassle or, a juggle, whatever, right? But to know that um, we're going to go to everlasting contentment and to know that God loves us and can't lie and to know that we were created by a loving God, right? That gave us everything he could give us, right? It's amazing. It's amazing to me, right? And so, yes, there's a lot of stuff that comes along with it that, yeah, maybe we're awake, right? A little bit sooner than everybody else. Or maybe um, God only woke us up, a very small percentage of us, and the rest really aren't going to get it. Or, or maybe it's our job to keep pressing on and bringing awareness to this, right? This stuff, right? Um, because I know this, right? If everybody found out what we know about the world, right, all in one shot, there would be panic, and there would be, I mean, things would be crazy out there because they'd realize just how not free we are. Now, I know people say like, okay, well, we're all kind of like slaves and we go to our slave job or make our slave income or whatever, right? I never really felt that way. I mean, yeah, I don't feel free, right? But I don't feel held down by anybody. I could go wherever I want, and I live pretty simple. There's nothing that I want that I can't afford, right? I don't have a lot of money, right? And I never really did, but I don't really want a whole lot, you know. So I don't feel like oppressed, right? Yeah, I want all that stuff. I want pancakes with all that stuff, Alex. But I got to lose about 14 pounds. But hey, that's another good thing, right? Like I was able to gain weight because I was sick for a long time. I had bad stomach problem, and I just recently got out of the hospital. But I ate so much that I even got a little bit fat, and so that's good for me because it means that I'm healthy, because I was only eating once every 4 days or whatever. And I was like willing to accept that it wasn't ever going to get any better than that. And I was still kind of happy. But now feeling as good as I feel now, I'm like extremely happy, and I'm extremely grateful to be like, you know, having as much support here at this channel as I have. It was kind of hard for me to like go live by myself at first, because I really wanted to come back and just start doing shows with Tom and Alex. And I still do want to do some recorded stuff as soon as, their schedules become free. But, it's like, I've been doing this solo for a little bit now, and I think I'm getting a little bit better at it. I'm not good when I start out, right? But it's hard for me to judge myself because you know, I never really felt like I was like, super good at anything. Um, I mean, I know that maybe I'm above average at a couple of things, but I never felt special, that's for sure. But I'll tell you, like a lot of you. I mean, if any of you want my number, right? Especially you guys that I see all the time, email me at goodservantshow@yahoo.com, and I'll give you my number. And my favorite thing to do really is is when one of you guys call me and I just listen, because that's where you get all the insight from. I mean, I text certain people throughout the night, right? Because I'm up usually all night. And there are people that are up all night. And so I'll text certain people and I'll get certain videos from certain people. And I'll have like an idea of what I'm going to talk about based on that, right? And, it's just crazy, because there are friends that I have, right? That, there are friends that I have that, um, there are friends that I have that are okay. Am I back? Okay. Can you hear me? I think I just my mom tried to call me or something, and I had to reject it, but my mom said she was listening to my show and that she liked everything except flat Earth. And I'm still doing my show, and she's calling me. So, okay, am I back? Am I back? Please text if I'm back again. I know Jay just texted back, but after that one. But like I'm just grateful to be getting the support from you guys, and I think that like if we could really form like a web ring, like I was really hoping to get like more than okay, thank you so much, Ben. Um, like I was hoping to get more than like 70 to like 70 views or whatever on my streams or whatever after this. I know I get only like 5 to 15 in the chat, which is beautiful because it's you guys, and it's comfortable to talk to you guys. But um, what I'd like to do is, you know, for people to email me, right, and us to have like a web ring, right, where like I can send videos, right, through email to you guys. Like if the 70 people who listen to this email me at goodservantshow@yahoo.com, then that way I'll be able to send you guys videos if anything happens to the channel. And then I'll set up a backup channel. I doubt I'm going to get 1,000 subscribers on it, but that doesn't really matter. I mean, it only matters in the sense that I can go live straight from YouTube, and so like I can't tell you how much I appreciate the support you guys have given me, and it helps me to like kind of vent a little bit about what's going on. And I've heard some content from some people that were live that, hey man, sometimes we feel broken, and I listen to people do their streams and they talk about what kind of person they used to be and things that they regret and all that. And I'll tell you what, knowing that Jesus died for our transgressions, he took our punishment for us, right? That is so freeing for things like that, right? None of us can look back on our life and say, hey, I did it right the whole way and don't have any regrets. I mean, of course I have regrets. Of course there's things that I've done I wish I haven't done, right? Of course there's times where I've lied when I needed to tell the truth. Of course there's times where I've had to say difficult things to people, right? But the reality is that we have a Savior. And when God separates your sins, right, when He removes your sins from you, He puts them as far as the east is from the west, right? So it means that the things that you actually have done are the furthest things from you, And so, yes, of course, we're all broken. Of course, none of us fit the mold of what God considers good. Of course, none of us have followed all the law, right? Of course, none of us have treated all of our neighbors like we would treat ourselves, right? And one day we're going to be in bodies that are incorruptible. We're not going to crave to do the wrong things, right? And it's just like how Paul said it. Because I mean, if you think about think about how God loved David, right? David didn't live a perfect life. David did things that were, you know, I mean, definitely against what God would say is good, right? But like, it's just like Paul said in Romans, right? I want to do good, but I can't. I I I know what I want. I know what God wants, and I that's the way I want to be, but I just don't do it, you know. And I would say that once I was pretty sure inside my heart that God was real, right? I would say from that point my faith has been strong enough where I try not to sin every day, but I do, maybe not in a big way, right? And I'm not trying to minimize, right? Because all sins are worthy of death, right? But there's days where I try not to sin all day, and I think I'm doing pretty good, and then I do some reflecting on that, right? And I think about all the things I could have done or should have done, or could have done better, or things I regret doing, or conversations that could be better next time, right? And so, or times I was frustrated and showed my anger um, when really I could have handled it a different way. Now, of course, like, I'm not really. I do handle my anger kind of like in an immature way, right? But that's only to the people that have seen me angry. I mean, I texted my son the other day because in the hospital, I was getting mad like once a day for like a period of 2 weeks. I mean, it was just wearing on me being there, And I texted my son and I said, "How many times have you seen or heard or experienced me being angry?" And he said one time, one time. And I've talked to my youngest son every day since he was 8. So basically every day. And so, oh, hey, Sasquatch. Yeah, I'm glad that you're here. What? Oh, you're no longer on YouTube? What is that? Why no longer you can do YouTube? What's going on, Sasquatch? Are you just are you just done, or is it that you got kicked off, or because I'll give you a platform here if you wanted a platform, you can have it. Sass, tell me what happened. This is important to me. I want to clear this up. Hey, brother, is it because like you got a strike or something, or I mean, I would say Sasquatch that you're one of the people that I want to impress, that I want you to like me. Like like there's people like that. Well, most of the people in this chat are like that, but you're one of those people that I consider important. Even though I haven't known you that long, just listening to you talk, I know that you get it. Some things that some people don't get, and you don't like flex what you get. You don't flex that on other people, right? You understand, but you move on in a way. And I know you have this level of understanding things. And I was hoping that you would email me so I can give you my number, or even you can get it from Cindy. If you have Cindy's number, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, I'm fed up with all the backbiting too. But here's the thing, right? Anything that man is involved with, right? I'm a man too, right? Anything man's involved with is going to be corrupted. I'm not going to die perfect, right? And so I was talking to Hannah last night. I'm not talking, but like messaging her on Facebook, and I said, "Hey, so and so is getting on my nerves. Does he ever get on your nerves, right?" And she said, um, "Well, everybody gets on my nerves at some point, and we all have to try to get better. Like, I'm sure I'm annoying and get on people's nerves too, right? And so, you know, yeah, there's going to be backbiting and people are going to let us down, right? And no matter how much you love somebody or count on somebody, they're going to let you down, whether they know it or not, or whether they even did anything wrong. Maybe you're expecting something from them that they just can't do for you, or that they don't see, or that that's not available to you. And so, or maybe somebody intentionally did something crazy to you, right? And I get that too. But I would really love for you to email me, or get my number from Tony, or get my Skype from somebody. My Skype is Good Servant, but we can all use to sharpen each other up, and everyone's gonna have bad days, right? And when people get on my nerves, right? Um, or if I'm getting on other people's nerves, right? I just go to a different group and hang out there. I try not to be dependent on one certain group for my self esteem, and I used to do that all the time. But now that I know that I have like this big personality that sometimes could wear on people, especially if it's an everyday thing, right? I know that I have to kind of like bounce around, you know. But I'll tell you what, Sasquatch, you've always been good to listen to. You've always been a good example, and you know I believe in you, you know. And so if you ever need to talk or if you ever need anything, you know, you can email me or get my number from whoever. And if any of you guys want my number, you know, um, just email me goodservantshow@yahoo.com and I'll give you guys my number or my Skype or whatever, you know. Hey Smurfer girl, hey child. I'm glad that everybody's here, you know, like I mean, just as a truth community, right? Like it's hard to like try to understand everybody's intentions and beliefs, right? And we all want like our best truther friend to believe what we believe, you know, so that we can go take on the world together. But everyone's going to be just a little bit different or not accept one thing or the other, right? And it's hard. It's so hard to peel back all these layers of lies. And you know, it's um, it's hard because um, you know I believe the Bible's 100% true, and because I have that belief, right? That means that God is the main focus of my life. So if someone else has that same focus, right, that's the main focus of their life, then you know I could work with that person and possibly even get more people, right? And I forgot how much Tom and I agreed on things. And when me and Tom were doing videos at first, we barely knew each other, you know. And he did all the technical stuff, and I did all the promoting of the channel, right? And but we ended up like agreeing on almost everything, like all the way down to spiritual beliefs and everything. And so it was, I mean, some things I had to like, um, you know, try to convince him more of or whatever, you know. And then, you know, working with Alex was equally as good, but almost in a different, more exciting way, you know. And so, like, but, you know, like, w- us as a group, as a community, we're always going to have some kind of little differences. Hey, Martin, how you doing, buddy? I need to make you blue. Uh, I need to make you blue, but you got to text something so that I can see you again. I don't know how this all works. If I touch this, does it? Oh, yeah, you pop up. Okay, wait. Hold on. I got to tap you. I got to tap you and it's going to do something. Okay, here. Boop. You're blue now, Martin. Who else isn't blue in there? Is anybody not blue that needs to be blue? I know there's some people in there. Now's the time to be blue if you're not blue. And yeah, it's you know, hey, as a group, I'm glad that we're all like, you know, I'm glad that you guys come here and support me because you know, if you guys put anything out, I'll definitely support you too. All right, DH, I'm gonna trust you here. I'm gonna trust you. There you go. You're blue. Can I trust you? I don't know if I remember you from anywhere, but I made you blue. That's a lot of trust. Hey, I wish I could make you pink, Cindy. I would, you know. If I could somehow single you out to make you like gold or something, I would do that. You mean that much to me. You've been around for a long time. I mean, I remember when I first got 150 subscribers. I mean, most of the people were hand-picked people. I went and like seen them at other channels. They commented, and I would comment under them. Hey, I like what you wrote there. Please subscribe to my channel. I think you're the right kind of person. And I handpicked people. And then of course all the friends that I knew from Flat Earth. and from over at Paul's channel, like I definitely um, you know, asked you guys to be my friends too, subscribers. And so like I would say like probably more than half of the people were hand selected, you know. And so like because there's no way to grow, right? When I'm putting out videos, I like, especially when I'm doing research, I'll like, you know, ask people. I hate doing self promotion, but it's the only way to grow, you know, is to ask people to subscribe to your channel. And sometimes you'll see someone else with like kind of a struggling channel or a small channel, and they'll want you to sub, you know, sub to them, and then you sub back or whatever. And so I've done that a couple times, you know, and so you know helps each other grow. And so every time I meet people, if they have a channel, right, then I'll subscribe to them, you know. And I think that it helps us put out information to each other faster, even if it is something silly or something just to blow off steam. Like I even like that stuff too, you know. And so, but anyway, I'm getting to my hour mark, or actually 50 minutes or so. And you know, I just want to say to everybody, God bless you. Have a great day. You know, I'm probably going to be over at you know, Paula's channel to check out what she's got going on today. And you know, if any of you need to call me or want to call me or want to email me, go ahead. And you know, I don't know what time I'm going to fall asleep today, but I'll probably sleep 2 hours at some point. But anyway, I love you guys. God bless you, and have a great day. And of course, praise Jesus for His sacrifice and His grace to us.